What's going on, guys? VGG here. So this is one of my favorite team comps right now. Like, this thing is absolutely crushing its way through just about every different mode there is. Now, there's a couple things you can swap out to make it a little bit more effective, but we're going to walk through what we have so far. Now, remember, my channel, all of these videos, this is from the perspective of a free-to-play casual player. So if you're somebody who has dropped a ton of cash on the game, or if you're somebody who has tons of time on their hands, this might not have as much value for you. But if you're somebody who is a free-to-play or more of a casual player, this is a setup that you definitely want to try to look into. Okay, so to get us started for our tank, we're looking at Antandra. So Antandra is, again, a very easy character to come across. She's easy to level up. She is what they call an A tier character and not an S tier character. But if we take a look at her kit, so from her ultimate, it's Shield Assault, and she's going to basically taunt everything around her. She's going to reduce her damage taken by a considerable amount, and she's also going to become unaffected, which means she's immune to all control effects for 5 seconds. After that, she's going to stun adjacent enemies for 2 seconds and then deal 400% damage to adjacent enemies and knock them down and recover 20% HP. And then every enemy hit recovers her an extra 8% HP. Now, this is just, I mean, it's a very powerful ultimate. It is. It's something that's it's out there, and this is one that I really like. I feel like she brings a lot to the table in terms of what she can actually add to this party. Now, obviously, you have Thorin as the other kind of Graveborn style tank, which is fine. You have Granny Donnie, which is another one, but Antandra seems to work really well for this particular comp. Now, that's outside of the faction bonuses, because this is a Mauler heavy group. You are getting some faction bonuses there, but let's talk about her other skills that she has and why we chose her. So outside of her really good ultimate, she's also going to select the frontmost ally except herself as the guarded ally. And then she's going to grant herself and the target shields that'll block damage equal to 15% of their max HP for 5 seconds. And the shield value can go up to 500% of Antandra's attack. And then Antandra is going to reselect another frontmost ally as the guarded ally if the previous one is defeated. So this just helps kind of soften the initial rush, because if you've been in any sort of battle in this game, there's always sort of a heavy burst damage period right at the start of the battle, and that's going to whittle down all of your characters. So because Antandra helps provide a shield for an additional character, it helps kind of soften that blow a little bit. And then next we have Spear Barrage. This is her kind of outgoing attack. Now this is nice. Obviously it deals super amount of damage, 100%, third hit deals 120. But the big time here is that it reduces the target's attack by 20% for 6 seconds. So it's going to reduce their combat effectiveness, making them a little bit weaker target. And if you again have any sort of high damage dealing character that gets hit by this, it's going to weaken them and create a little bit more of an advantage for you and your team. So that's why Antandra fits this really well. The faction bonuses, she thinks about herself, but also those around her, and she has this attack reduction. Now, obviously, as you get into Legendary Plus, you're looking at getting a max HP buff. Mythic Plus is going to give additional bonuses, and then Supreme Plus, even further bonuses. But right now, for what we have, she's a very, very powerful tank hero to go with. So in terms of our first support, we have Rowan. Now, Rowan is a Lightbringer. He's also a support. So Rowan, at first, I wasn't entirely sold on him. He kind of was sort of a square peg, round hole situation. But then as I sort of looked deeper and deeper into his kit and what he provided to a party, I really kind of figured out he's not really a square peg, round hole. He's kind of just a water, right? In terms of Bruce Lee, become water. If you go into the cup, you are the cup. You go into the tea kettle, you are the tea kettle, that whole thing. So that's sort of where Rowan fits into all different parties. And because of that, he's able to restore tons of energy to your party, which then kind of fuels the ultimate of all of the other characters, especially Antandra, which we just talked about, right? Which is then going to help out the rest of the team and kind of soften the damage that they're taking. He does have a healing kind of system, so he's going to place 2 health potions on his trolley when the battle starts. Allies within 2 tiles will automatically consume one of those health potions whenever their HP ratio falls below 50%, and that health potion is going to heal for 40% of their max HP or up to 800% of Rowan's attack. Now each ally can use 1 health potion every 6 seconds. As you level this up, you can see that it's going to increase the amount that's healed, so on and so forth. He also has this Quack Waltz, so he's going to call on Braddock the Duck to attack an enemy, dealing a decent chunk of damage, and also absorb 70 energy. So really what Rowan brings to the table is he is a pure battery for this entire team. He's going to juice them up, provide them with a lot of ultimate energy, and help get everybody kind of kicked off and jump started whenever the battle first starts. I don't really look to him to be a major healer. I don't look for him to be a major damage dealer. I purely look for him to help kind of fuel all of the other heroes that we have on this squad. Next up, we have Coco. So Coco, again, was one that I kind of looked at and I was like, what? I don't really know where Coco fits in all this. And then as I kind of dug deeper into her kit, she has a really, really good ultimate. So she's going to reduce all damage taken by 45% for 12 seconds, which is an absolutely massive amount of time. Then the reduced damage will be recorded, and at the end of that 12 seconds, it's going to all come true and it's going to settle. And then once it settles, she's going to give them a 30 life drain and 10% attack increase. So this is just a really, really cool ultimate. So one, reducing all of the damage taken and kind of postponing it to later, right? And then as we go through and that all settles out, then we gain an additional life drain to then recover that health. And we're also going to gain an additional attack buff to then deal more damage. And then as we continue to level up, the damage reduction effect is going to go up and the life drain effect is going to go up. In terms of all of your battles, especially in AFK battling, Coco's ability, Full Energy, is absolutely critical to make this whole thing work. Because you do have some squishy people in this comp, and once they go down, they lose kind of a critical part of the team. So Rowan being the battery, if he goes down, you kind of lose a big chunk of your ult generation. If you have Antandra go down, obviously she's a tank, that's not great. The next one we're going to be talking about, Cessia, she's your primary damage dealer. If she goes down, well, all your damage goes down with it. So being able to kind of take advantage of this damage reduction is absolutely fantastic, and it's very, very cool that Coco brings this ability to the table. Next, we have Fulfilling Feast. So Coco is going to feed the weakest ally, healing them by 230% of their HP, and then grant them 10% attack for 5 seconds. She's also going to feed Pato the bear, and the bear is going to recover 350% HP every 15 seconds, and then increasing your composure by 20 for 7 seconds. So this is just kind of a cool healing ability. It's not anything over the top, and it doesn't really kind of hold a candle to what Hewin or Smokey bring, but it's just an additional thing. And then next we have Pato Smash. She's going to deal some damage, 210%, increase their damage taken, that them being the target, by 10% for the next 5 seconds. So between what Coco brings to the table and what Antandra brings to the table, you are weakening and reducing the attack damage that they're going to be pumping out. And Coco is also going to be increasing their damage taken. So weakening their damage output, increasing their damage taken. It's a fantastic synergy between these two. If there's an enemy within her adjacent tiles, that her being Coco, Pato will also smash the ground and deal 210% damage to adjacent enemies and stun them. And then obviously as you get deeper and deeper, you're going to unlock additional skills that'll further increase her kit and what she brings to the table. Next, let's talk about our main damage dealer. That's going to be Cessia. Now, Cessia is one of those that this is kind of the more difficult pull, I would say, out of all of them. It seems like she's more sought after. I got lucky. I pulled her. This is my first ever kind of S tier that I pulled in the game. It's my first 10 pull. And she has a very interesting kit. So she deals additional or well, she deals a nice chunk of damage by herself. There really isn't anything like crazy about what she does, but her ultimate is where things get a little unique. So she's going to summon an additional character into the battle called Mr. Carlisle. I'm just going to call him Carlisle. So Carlisle is going to inherit all of Cecia's stats, and his normal attack is going to deal 170% damage to enemies within a 1-tile arc. So he will have a cleave, which is super nice. He's going to gain an additional 45% max HP, but he's going to consistently lose that HP per second. That's just kind of the nature of doing business, right? But the thing is, when he's summoned, he's going to initiate Tangled Agony. He's going to entangle all of the enemies, deal damage, root them, all of that. And this is a damage over time skill for 2 seconds. So this is very cool. If she uses her ultimate again while Carlisle is already on the field, he will then have all of his health restored and will cast Entangled Agony once again. So the nice thing about Carlisle is not only is he an extra character on the field, but he also serves sort of as an extra tank. So everything is going to be directed towards him or Antandra. So it's going to provide you with 2 kind of aggro sources. He's also going to deal a decent chunk of damage, and he brings a little bit of CC when he's first summoned. So there is a lot that he brings to the table, and guys, I'll be honest, he's hard carried sometimes. It's just one of those things where Cecia and Carlisle are the last 2 heroes on the board, and they've been able to wipe out opponents. It's been great. So outside of that, you do have Earth's Offering. This is a buff. She's going to increase her and Carlisle's attack speed by 45 for 8 seconds. As you level up, it's going to increase that. This is one that I'm looking forward to, is level 3, because his normal attack is going to be replaced with Thundering Quake, dealing a larger amount of damage and grant 15 life drain. The next thing is Agonizing Puncture. Okay, so they're going to gain defense penetration. As you can see, there's a lot of what Cecia does that is all about her and Carlisle. She doesn't bring anything to the table really for the rest of the party, and that's perfectly fine, because there's so much that all of the other characters do to help prop up Cecia and Carlisle that doesn't really matter. So Agonizing Puncture is going to give you that defense penetration, and then her next normal attack is going to deal 220% damage. And as you level up, that's going to increase the damage amount, and it's also going to increase the passive effect. So getting into Legendary Plus, Mythic Plus, and Supreme Plus, she's going to gain some additional skills and help kind of create even more havoc on the battlefield. So the last key part is Smokey and Mirky. So Smokey and Mirky is an interesting character. So again, at first, I really was a big Huan-like person. I really thought she was a superior healer, and honestly, in terms of burst healing with her ultimate, she is. But Smokey and Mirky bring some pretty interesting stuff to the table, again, because we are helping prop up the rest of the party. So Special Aroma is Smokey's ult. So after the battle starts, Smokey is going to create an aroma within 2 tiles and keep it going through channeling. While the aroma is around, they're going to recover 50 energy per second, and allies are going to recover 21% HP per second. And they cannot keep the aroma going when affected by crowd controls, and cannot create the aroma in 4 seconds. Now, if we activate this ability, aka activate their ultimate, it's going to heal allies within the aroma by 170% and permanently level up the aroma's effects. So next time they use it, it's going to expand the range by 1 tile. The time after that, it's going to grant additional haste, which is going to give them extra attack speed, extra ult generation. And then as you continue to level it up, it's going to increase the health recovery rate, as you can see here. This is a very, very powerful ultimate in terms of pure healing, but also giving something a little additional, especially with this haste. And because this is passive and it's kind of always going, as long as the rest of your crew is around Smokey, they're going to be constantly getting healed up, which is great. And I feel like that's something that's very valuable, especially in early game and mid game in AFK Journey. So that's the Special Aroma ultimate, but what else do we have? So 1, we have Energizing Formula. So Smokey is going to increase the attack of allies within the aroma by 16%, and they're going to recover 5 additional energy per second for every non-summoned ally that's affected. So that's going to give them even faster ult generation, which is great. And it's also going to increase the attack of allies within the aroma by 18% if you manage to level 2. We're going to recover additional energy at level 3, and then even more attack at level 4. So the third ability is Quick Recovery. This is just going to be a really fast heal, and this is going to heal all allies within the aroma by 90%. So as long as you keep Smokey in an area where all of the rest of your characters are, he's going to constantly keep them sort of topped off, or at least with a consistent stream of healing. So Smokey is going to be somebody that's going to really kind of benefit from placement. I've been placing him directly behind Antandra on the front line, sort of in the middle. That way, if he does move forward, everything should be around him. Because this is more of a ranged style of team comp, there isn't anything that's really kind of running out and, you know, throwing themselves onto the back line outside of Antandra. Smokey should be within range of all of your other characters, and that's going to be a super important thing. As you get deeper and continue investing into Smokey, he's going to gain additional attacks, additional buffs, and additional things to help kind of keep the party propped up, which I think is really, really great. So as you can see right now, we're almost at level 90 on all of these. Again, from a free-to-play standpoint, this team has just been fantastic. They've been blowing through things. I really haven't had any sort of trouble outside of just pure level discrepancies, but once I catch up and I get sort of near the like AFK battles that I'm having or anything like that, then it's just, you just blow through them. There's just so much good synergy when it comes to this squad, and because you get good faction bonuses by running a, you know, 2-3 Maulers and 2 additionals, then you get some pretty cool stuff as well. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. I know some people, you know, kind of struggling a little early on, trying to figure out, okay, how can I get over the hump? This is a team comp that I would highly recommend checking out. Now, the one I would say, so let's say you need to switch and do some single target damage, so like a Dream Realm or something like that, you can use this same comp, and instead of Cessia, swap out for Odie. So Odie does an incredible amount of damage to single targets, and I'm talking incredible amount of damage. So his ultimate, he's going to fire a corrosive dart, which is going to infect the target with poison. It doesn't deal a ton amount of damage right off the gate, but he does apply this poison, and the poison target is going to receive 30% damage every second until defeated, and it cannot be dispelled. So it's on there permanently. Odie's also going to gain 600 energy when the poison enemy is defeated, but only 200 if the enemy is a summoned unit. But the nice thing is, this dart poison isn't only stuck to corrosive dart. Instead, I'm going to skip this one, I'll come back to it. Venom Surge, whenever Odie launches normal attacks to the nearest poison target, if the normal attacks hit that poison enemy, the base damage, as you can see here, of the target's dart poison is permanently increased by 25%, stacking up to 20 times. So as he continues just to hit it with normal attacks, that poison is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and deal more and more and more damage. This is why he's so perfect for single target enemies, is because he can just focus on that one enemy and continue dealing more and more damage and ramping up the amount of damage over time that he's dishing out. Now let's go back to his secondary skill, it's Triple Tap. He's going to deal 60% damage to an enemy 3 times. These are considered normal attacks, so this is just a very quick pop, 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 and that's going to help kind of buff up Venom Surge here as well. So we do have Legendary Plus, Mythic Plus, and Supreme Plus that are going to give even more stuff. It kind of just buffs up his Venom, which is really cool, but Odie is a really good one for single target. So guys, that's the comp. If you have all of these characters, I'd say throw them together and see what happens. It's been incredibly successful for me. I really like what we have put together here, but let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this comp and what your favorite comp is so far. As always, this has been VGG, and I'll talk to you guys next time.